A man wanting to have sex with you is not really a compliment. It's not. It took me a long time to realize this. I was well into my 30s when I realized this. I placed a lot of value all my life on who thought I was hot, who wanted to have sex with me, who found me attractive, if they found me more attractive than other women. And I think this time in the world that we're really focused on that, and girls are being born into this culture where that's what they think the most valuable part of themselves is when it comes to men and relationships. Like how pretty you can be, how badly he wants to do it with you as opposed to do it with somebody else, who he wants to do it with first. It's like that's giving men so much power. The power to just be your puppet master, make you like a little Pinocchio on a string, you know? And the truth is, and once you realize this, I think it'll help you a lot. Because this is a type of brainwashing we all have. Living in this part of the world, in the United States, this is a type of really sick brainwashing that we have from the time we're little girls. Okay? But it can be undone. And once you realize that men want to do it with everybody, they biologically want to do it with just about everybody. So it doesn't matter if you get a BBL and your butt is 3 inches bigger than her butt, or your boobs are 3 sizes larger than her boobs. What you need to understand is that he likes those size boobs and he likes those size boobs. He likes a butt with a BBL, and he also likes the other kind of butt that doesn't have a BBL. He does. In the moment when he sees the one that is augmented, he might notice it first. If he's looking at a lineup of women, he might notice that one first. As soon as he has that one, the amount of interest he has in it, if it was a level 10 interest, it goes down to like a 5 now because he's already experienced it. Now he's looking at the one he didn't notice before. He's like, wow, you know what? I like that kind of natural look. Haven't had that yet. Want to try that? Then he'll go and he'll try that. And then his level of interest will go from a 10 down to a 5. And then he'll be on to the next thing. He'll be thinking about the next thing he hasn't tried. Okay? Men like basically everything. Stop running around like a chicken with your head cut off or a hamster on a wheel trying to keep up with the next plastic surgery, with the next thing that's going to make you hot, with the next thing that's going to make people want to sleep with you, and thinking to yourself, if I can just always be the woman on top who they want to sleep with first and sleep with more, then somehow I'm going to be safe and protected and loved and wanted. No. Take it from me, okay? I've had over 25 plastic surgeries and other cosmetic procedures. I went through this type of thinking for years, and I thought the way that I looked, and if I made my body perfect, and if I got rid of this and I tucked this and I nipped that and I fixed this and I fixed that and I made this bigger and this smaller, I thought that somehow somebody was going to see me and love me and say, wow, her physical beauty is so beyond compare that I'm not going to go with any other women. That's my woman right there. She's right there. And guess what? I had a lot of people who temporarily thought that about me in that moment. Where are they now? Where are the fathers of my children? Where are the boyfriends I had years ago? They're with women uglier than me now. Yes, girls, your looks are important, absolutely. But don't let this type of thinking control your life and make you risk your life having unnecessary surgeries, okay? If you want to do it for you, okay, this is the difference, okay? When you hear them say, if you're going to do surgery, do it for you, not for somebody else, this is what they're talking about. Don't have a cosmetic surgery because deep in the back of your mind, you're thinking, if I could just fix my tummy, then I would be almost perfect. Then I could be like an Instagram model. And then he'll finally see me. Then he'll finally want me. Whether it's a specific person or a fantasy man you've made up in your mind that will one day come and love you and rescue you and take you off the market and marry you and love you and never cheat on you and always be there for you. It's hard to know the difference between doing it for yourself or doing it for somebody else. If you've been born into this culture that has programmed you from the time you were a little girl, you won't even really be able to tell that you're doing it for somebody else because this is the way you've always thought. If you've always had this kind of thinking your entire life since you were a child, you have nothing else to compare it to. So how do you really know you're doing it for somebody else? You'll be doing it for somebody else, and it might be a somebody else you've never even met yet. You might be doing it for the fantasy of, I'm going to make myself so beautiful that one day my dream man, Prince Charming, is going to come and find me. And when he sees me looking like this, he's going to know that I'm his. Okay? See, it's confusing because if you don't even have a boyfriend in your life right now or a guy you're interested in your life right now and you're going to get surgery and you're thinking to yourself, okay, I want to make sure I'm doing this for myself and not for somebody else, you'll be like, well, there's nobody in my life who I'm even thinking about right now. No, but you could be thinking of a fantasy man in your mind. I hope this makes sense to you. We can't keep living our lives and making health choices and surgery choices. I mean, you could die from surgery. And I'm not saying don't get surgery, okay? I've had so many of them. And who knows, I might even get more one day. But now that I look back at the surgeries I started doing like 22 years ago was my first surgery. I look back now and I see the difference. If I were to have surgery today, in my mind, it's different than when I did it 22 years ago. I look back on that 18-year-old girl that got her first plastic surgery, and I was doing it for outside validation. I wanted people to see me in a different way. I wanted to be liked. I wanted to be loved. I wanted to outdo other girls. I wanted to be the one that when I walked in a room, everybody noticed me first. And it's okay to want all those things, of course. But just know what you're doing when you're doing it. These things are life-threatening. You could die from this. You could also become disfigured from this, okay? I've had a lot of surgeries with a lot of different doctors all over the world. I've had some good surgeries and some bad surgeries, okay? There's parts of my body that got messed up from surgery. Okay? Not only can you die, you can live and you can have things that don't look good, that are not correctable. And there's just, every time you do a surgery, you're telling your subconscious mind that what other people think about me really matters. What men think about me really matters. You're telling yourself, I need to make my sexual body parts look better because this is how you get men to love you. Let me tell you something. I'm going to close with this because I have to get on a Zoom call. A man lusting you and wanting to have sex with you and fantasizing about your body parts and, looking at your pictures on social media and touching himself, giving himself pleasure by looking at your pictures is not a compliment. He does that with everybody's pictures. He does that with everybody. He wants to do that with everybody. Okay? That's not a compliment. You know what a compliment is? When a man wants to take care of you, when he wants to spend his money on you, when he wants to take care of you for the rest of your life, when he wants to put you on his health insurance to make sure that you're healthy, when he wants to put you on his life insurance because he wants to make sure that you have food in your belly and a roof over your head if he were to pass away. That's when a man loves you. That's impressive. That is something to brag about. Okay? How big your booty is or how perky your boobies are, and men commenting on that and how many likes you have because your butt looks so good in this photo. We all kind of like that stuff because we're all kind of brainwashed. But in reality, that's not a compliment. How many men you have that want to marry you and pay for you and provide for you and make sure that you have, long-term care in your life, that want to know that you're going to be okay even when you're an old lady if they were to pass away. That's a compliment, okay? And if we really think about it, right, we might have 1 million followers on social media because we're so hot, we're so sexy and good looking. We have all these men looking at our pictures thinking we're just, so hot. How many of those 1 million men who are looking at you, how many of them have you on their health insurance? How many of them are on the phone with the life insurance company right now trying to get you on their life insurance to make sure that you're financially okay if they were to pass away? How many of those 1 million men that are lusting over your photos and your body parts, how many of those men are getting up to go to work every single day because the first thing on their mind is, I want to take care of my woman. I want to serve her today. I want to go out and I want to work and be financially successful so I can give her a high quality life where she doesn't have to worry, where she doesn't have to suffer, where she doesn't have to go without. How many men are doing that? Seriously, when we think of it, we feel like, we have all these men who think we're so hot and, they all want to do it with us. Like, you could have 1 million men like that. 1 million men that think you're hot and sexy cannot compare to one man that goes to work for you every day to give you the best life he can give you, who's worried about your health, who's thinking about you all the time, who's thinking, how can I make sure she's safe in life? How can I make sure that if she gets sick, she can go to the hospital, she can see a doctor, she can have medicine? How can I make sure that she's okay If I get into a car accident tomorrow and I die, I want to make sure she's taken care of for the rest of her life. How many men are following you on social media who have all those things in mind? Maybe zero. Probably zero. Maybe one. Maybe zero right now, and maybe one is coming in the future. Just what I'm trying to express to you is don't be impressed. Don't be flattered because somebody thinks you're hot. And don't spend your whole life trying to keep up with this standard of beauty. Yes, it's important in some ways, but don't let it consume your mind and your heart and your life and take all your money and put you in a position where you spend all your money on plastic surgery and you can't afford other things. Don't put yourself in that position, okay? It's not worth it. It's not worth it to look amazing and be praised by a bunch of men who don't want to go to work for you every day, who don't want you on their health insurance, who don't give a rat's ass what happens to you in the future. Why put all that risk? Why put up all that risk for a bunch of men who don't care about you that much? For what? For their likes and their validation? Why do you need validation from somebody who doesn't even really love you? You're just telling your brain that you can't really find somebody to really love you, so you're willing to settle for 1 million followers on Instagram who look at your butt and tell you you're freaking hot. Okay? There's nothing wrong with being on Instagram. There's nothing wrong with having a great butt. There's nothing wrong with plastic surgery. There's nothing wrong with wanting outside validation, okay? That's not what I'm trying to say. This video is for the people who this is going to resonate with. So if it doesn't resonate with you, this video wasn't for you, okay? The people this video is supposed to reach will understand what I'm saying, and this is the message they need right now, okay? Talk to you later.